What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to Bills HQ, when we talk all things Buffalo Bills football and NFL. I am your host, Julian Mott, and it's not a good episode to be back on, guys. Not a good episode to be back on. Your Buffalo Bills fall to the New England Patriots in a game where honestly they deserve to lose. Absolutely. When we took the lead at the end, I was really excited, and then of course we lost the game. And looking back, you deserve to lose. Like there's absolutely no reason they should win this game. You know, there's a couple exciting individual performances from a couple young guys, but other than that, this game really gives you nothing. You lose to a 1-5 football team. You give a team that was inept offensively life. Yeah, I could go on and on and on, and I don't want to. I don't want this video to be super long. First of all, with the offense, we got to start with Josh's very first play of the game, his interception. Jabril Peppers, did he fool him? You know, my brother said no, but I don't think Josh expected him to back up. You know, in watching the game, I did not realize how deep he actually had to drop to make that play. That was like a good 15 yards downfield that Jabril Peppers dropped and made that play. You know, and you got to give him credit. That's a good play by that guy. That's a good play. But Josh has got to be able to identify that, and he's got to hit his man in the flat. He's got to do that. And one of the things I want to point out with Josh is his body language and his energy that he gives off during the game. I'm not a player. I've not been on the sideline, so you know I can't put a number or anything like that, on how this actually affects the team. But you know, something that really stood out to me early on in this game, you know, especially rewatching it, is Mac Jones's energy early on versus Josh's energy. Completely different energy. And I'm not even talking about after they got off to a fast start or anything like that. I'm talking about a couple plays into the game. And Mac is high five and he's all over the place. He's picked me up, and in comparison, Josh just is pouting. Like, he's almost pouting, and I know things went bad, but like, that's when you need your leaders, your captain, your $258 million quarterback to suck it up. Like, let's make plays. And they eventually did that, but it took entirely too long. And I haven't mentioned Ken Dorsey, and he's definitely got some blame in this. But honestly, man, those guys on the field have got to get it done. Those guys on the field have got to get it done. And one thing that I really took note of, especially late in the game, is like these last few weeks is like, when you have to have it, we have it. When we need the play, we make the play. When the game is on the line, normally this offense is showing up. When the game is on the line, most of the time they are showing up and they are making those big time, situational plays late in the game to win it. You know, and one of the questions that I would pose to a Ken Dorsey or a Sean McDermott is, why is there so much success in have to have it moments? And how can it be applied in the whole game? How can we take what's being successful in the have to have it moments and apply it during the whole game? And, I was watching, a Buffalo Bills podcast with Matt Perino and Ryan Talbot. And one of the things that Ryan brought up, and Matt brought it up too, Matt brought up no huddle and Ryan brought up tempo. And those are two of the things that normally they are doing down the stretch these games, because they need to score, and they need to score fast, and they do it. So how can we apply that to the game plan earlier on? More up-tempo, more no-huddle. I want to see that. I'm ready to see that. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I can't even really dream to know as much football as Ken Dorsey knows. But I know I want a little bit more up-tempo and a smidge more no-huddle. I'm not saying we need to become a no-huddle offense or anything like that, but those are a couple things that we were doing a little bit more in the, I don't even like saying his name, Brian Dable era, because all that stuff annoys me. But we were doing a lot more no huddle, and the up tempo was a lot more. We were doing a lot more of that last year though too. Like it's not a Brian Dable versus Ken Dorsey thing. Like I think they're doing some things a lot differently than they did last year. Don't even get me started with throwing the ball versus running the ball. They are running the ball a lot more, and it's slowing the game down, and it's prolonging possessions, and it's giving them less possessions, which, 2 of the last 3 weeks has led to less possessions, is giving them less opportunities to come back and win. Like this whole run the ball thing, I get it. We have to be less predictable. And that became an issue with this offense down the stretch last year. We became really predictable. So if teams don't know if you're going to run or pass, it theoretically should give you more success. But the last 10 years, this league has told you, how do you win football games? Throwing the football. Throwing the football. At least that's how you win regular season football games nowadays. You can tell me something different in the playoffs if you want to. But regular season football games, we need to be throwing it around the yard. And we need players that are able to separate and catch the football. And we have a number 2 receiver, which brings me to another bad. We have a number 2 receiver who cannot get open. Like, forget catching the football. Gabriel Davis has issues getting open. He can't get separation. I don't know what the issue is. Last year it was ankle. I don't know what it is this year. And I did not mean for this to be a bash session on the Bills offense, but I guess I needed to vent. Because things need to, I don't even want to say things need to change, because one of my other points that I wanted to bring up is that there's just these little things that have such a big impact on the game, whether it be a penalty, whether somebody gets tripped up or something, whether somebody drops one ball, Josh makes one bad read, there's one missed block, there's there's one little thing that's just stops these possessions. I mean, the Bills they had great possessions this game. They had 12, 13 play possessions multiple times where there's something happens and we have to kick a field goal. There's a drop by Dawson Knox and it's downs. Tyler Bass misses a field goal, right? Like that's almost 21 points right there, and we've seen the Bills get 7 on every single one of those possessions before. We saw it a few weeks ago. I mean, it seems like that Dolphins games is years ago now. And it's not. It's just a few weeks ago where we saw this consistent execution from this offense. And I am still of the belief that it's an execution issue over a X's and O's issue. I still believe that. But we still do need more out of Ken Dorsey. What exactly? I don't know. I'll leave that to smarter guys like Cover One and them to figure that out and break that down. But we definitely need more. Not a great day from the offense. I do want to end our offensive talk on a couple positive notes. Let me see. Where we at? 8:40. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. 8 minutes of talking offense. That's not bad. Dalton freaking Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid, man, and I have heard the complaints, and I'm almost there with you guys. Like at the end of the day, I still believe this is a rookie tight end, and a guy that he's been productive. Like it's not like he hasn't had any targets, and I think Josh just has to get him the ball more, and he got him the ball today. He got him the ball this game. And here's the important thing to me. I'm sorry. Here's an important thing to me because I got Gabe Davis in the back of my mind too, because one of the big things I have an issue with Gabe is that with all the opportunities that maybe he might get in a certain game, a lot of times his catch percentage will be so low. Like, bro, when the football comes, sorry y'all, just getting so. Sorry guys, but like when the football comes to you, when you have the opportunity, you got to make plays, man. And I I know Gabe has made plays in big time games. I know big game Gabe, like for sure. But like, man, and we saw the opposite from Dalton Kincaid today, where he had 8 opportunities to make a play on the ball and catch it, and he caught all 8 of them. And this guy, I mean, his run after catch ability is so fun to watch because he'll dink, he'll juke you, but then he'll run you over. He'll run you over too. So it was really cool to see Dalton Kincaid go off. I think that's only gonna go up, as the season goes on. And my guy James Cook, I'm a big James Cook fan. James Cook has been my number 1 running back in Madden since last year. James Cook is my guy. And one of the big things, like James Cook is smooth in the passing game. Like we always talk about his ability to run, but man, watching this dude, first of all, release off the line. His releases are super smooth off the line. Like he looks like a wide receiver when he releases, but in and out of his cuts and breaks, he looks like a receiver. He's so smooth. And on that 38-yard reception, like I dang near thought he might have been open on his little in route. And then his ability to just quickly turn and adjust to what Josh is doing in the scramble drill as a running back it's impressive. That was impressive. Honestly, I thought he was powerful in the run game. Powerful and fluent in the run game are 2 things that I have down here. Powerful and fluent. Everything he did with a purpose and he did efficiently. And I really thought it was really nice to see. So, 2 really big positives in a game where you come out really discouraged on the offensive side of the ball. And then we go to the defense. Now, the number one thing we got to bring up are the injuries. Like, and you're starting to see these guys are reeling, and the depth is getting tested. And we lauded Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott for bringing in all these guys, and and it's still great. But like, man, that depth gets tested quick. They're missing Trey White. They are missing Matt Milano. And maybe they wouldn't be missing Matt Milano as much if we had like a second year Dorian Williams. But, Dorian, who I love watching, is just maybe not seeing the game as well as Sean and the coaching staff may want him to, which is understandable because he's a rookie, being asked to play. Didn't get much better when Tyrell Dodson came in, honestly. The D-line struggled. To me, they maybe they didn't struggle. Like maybe that's just me overreacting. Maybe they just weren't as dominant as they have been. Maybe it was more of that. I don't know. I like to see the all-22. Not that I'm great at breaking it down, but it does give you a little bit of a better look at exactly what's going on up front with that Madden look a lot of times. But honestly, to me, it looked like they were getting blown off the ball. A lot of the game. And I actually think the yards per carry and the run game numbers weren't as bad as it looked, but no, in terms of impact on the game, to me it looked like they were getting blown off the ball a bit. I mean, when are the Bills going to get serious about tackling? I hear Sean McDermott all the time preach in his press conferences, tackling. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't hear him preach that, but I hear him preach fundamentals. Fundamentals. He's always preaching fundamentals, and I get it, and it needs to be preached, but tackling is one of the most basic fundamentals. And they're so poor at it. They are just not good. Like so many instances of drives getting prolonged, or just somebody's there to make a play for a loss and it turns into a into a no gain or something like that. Like those hidden yards, even they're struggling. We need to tackle. And that we need our offense, who is healthy for the most part, to make up for some of the deficiencies on defense from the injuries. And it's not happening. The offense is struggling, and today the defense for the first game really struggled too. It's not a good combo. And even then, you're in position to win the game. Even then, you have the game in hand at the end. Like, that's how good this team really is. I know this team is good. I know this team is good. It's just, how are they going to play? How are they going to play? Now, lastly, I love our coaching staff. I will be a Sean McDermott defendant probably all my life. But today, I think we got outcoached in all three phases. McDermott, Dorsey, Smiley. Outcoached on all three phases. I mean, some of the things they were doing on special teams, like to get yards, I mean, they mattered in the game. They matter in a 4-point game. You know, they matter when your offense doesn't wake up until, the fourth quarter. They matter when your defense is reeling and you're starting to really feel the effects of all the injuries. Like, those things matter. And they got outcoached on special teams. And they were walking the ball up and down the field offensively. And I know there's a bunch of injuries on defense. Like, I went through it, but come on, Sean. Elite play caller. Bill O'Brien worked you. And I don't even want to talk about, Ken Dorsey, really. Like, I know people are gonna pile on Ken Dorsey, and I don't want to pile on Ken Dorsey too much. Bill Belichick's one of the greatest of all time. And they had a plan for Josh specifically today. I felt like they said Josh Allen is not going to beat us. We don't care if he's handing the ball off. We're still going to have a guy there for him just in case. Like, it didn't matter. Josh is not beating us. Diggs is not beating us. And great players are going to make plays. And that's what Josh and Diggs did down the stretch. But, out-coached in all three phases. And that list of things that I just went through is how you lose to a 1-5 team. Now, they're also 1-5. That's how you only lose by 4. Like, that team is just not that talented. I think they were really well coached on Sunday, and they maximized every bit of talent they could. Which brings me to my that's to my point of they were out coached. Like, I actually think New England was Bill Belichick was Guru Bill Belichick on Sunday. I hate to say it, but he was. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to get on here and just be negative, but I gotta tell it how it is. Now we got a short week coming up. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday. I will be in attendance. Maybe I'll try and capture some footage for you guys or something like that. I'm sorry, my watch keeps going on. It's so unprofessional. We just chilling. Yeah, I'm sorry for the no content, guys, but we'll be back. Hopefully the camera looks a little nicer. Setup looks a little. I tried to be a little bit better, but yeah, we can only hope for growth. And it doesn't get any easier. There's no easy gimmies in this league, guys. And the Buccaneers are playing well, so maybe we'll break down a little bit of the Buccaneers. Maybe not. I'm not really sure, but we should have one more video before Thursday, and then we will go from there, guys. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, guys, go Bills.